Next News, breaking news.
America is back in space, folks, and President Trump just made history in a way the mainstream media doesn't want you to fully appreciate. 4 brave astronauts right now orbiting the moon further from Earth than any human beings have ever traveled before, and President Donald J. Trump became the first world leader to speak directly to astronauts on the far side of the moon. This is the moment we've been waiting for since Apollo. While the previous administration let our space program languish, Trump's NASA is delivering results. But what one astronaut said during that call, it'll give you chills, so don't go anywhere. And think about what this means for you and your family. For over 50 years, we watched other nations catch up while America's space dominance slipped away. China building space stations, Russia still launching our astronauts because we couldn't. That was the America of the past. Under President Trump's leadership, with Jared Isaacman at the helm of NASA, we're not just back in the game, we're winning it. The Artemis II mission isn't just about national pride, though there's plenty of that. It's about securing America's future in the final frontier before our adversaries do. The resources on the moon, the strategic positioning, the technological breakthroughs that come from pushing these boundaries, they all translate into American jobs, American security, and American prosperity. When those 4 astronauts, Weissmann, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Canada's Jeremy Hansen, circled behind that moon and lost all contact with Earth, they carry the hopes of every freedom-loving patriot with them. This is what American exceptionalism looks like, my friends. Now, speaking of being prepared for the unknown, those astronauts knew they had to be ready for anything when they lost communication on the far side of the moon. And that got me thinking about something important. If a major disruption happened right here on Earth and you couldn't get to the store, how long do you think you would last with what's in your house right now? Those astronauts prepared for every scenario, and so should you. If it's anything less than a month's worth of supplies, you need to check out our friends at My Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million satisfied customers. Yes, folks who understand that hoping for the best means preparing for the worst. And right now, when you go to preparewithgary.com, it's linked below. Their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with an additional week of food absolutely free. Just like NASA doesn't launch a mission without backup systems, you shouldn't leave your family's security to chance. That's preparewithgary.com. Now let's get back to the incredible moment in American history. Yes, this is what the mainstream media is glossing over about this historic call. When President Trump asked astronaut Victor Glover what it felt like to lose all communication on the far side of the moon, his response revealed something profound about the character of men and women that Trump has empowered to lead America's return to space. He said a prayer, folks. And then he got right back to work recording scientific observations that will benefit humanity for generations. That is the American spirit. I'm going to show you exactly what these heroes said. Here is the NASA Administrator on Artemis II. An exciting moment.
Well, it certainly is a very exciting moment. I mean, to have these 4 astronauts coming back from their voyage around the moon, setting the record, traveling farthest away from Earth than any humans ever have before, and now have an opportunity to speak to their astronaut colleagues on the International Space Station through a ship-to-ship communication method. What I think about here is like what a start to something even grander, which is kind of pretty much everything we do at NASA. We start somewhere and it goes even bigger. I mean, we're working towards a world where you're going to have lots of spaceships, lots of space stations, maybe astronauts on the surface of the moon at a moon base someday talking to their colleagues above them who are talking to folks in the International Space Station.
This is only the beginning. Artemis II pushing boundaries, setting records, and promising more to come. Now let's gaze upon the incredible images captured on the far side of the moon. Incredible images from NASA's Artemis, far side captured from Orion as Earth dips beyond the lunar horizon. And let's see if we have this image here. Take a look at some of these beautiful, look at that. Earthrise and the eclipse. Absolutely stunning visuals coming from the Artemis mission right there. Now, from those remarkable images, we shift to a historic moment as President Trump personally greets the returning Artemis II crew, making a first in space diplomacy. Check this out.
Integrity, Jared Isaacman, ComCheck.
Administrator Isaacman, we've got you loud and clear, sir. How us?
I've got you loud and clear. Artemis II crew, we have a very special guest who wanted to be the first person to greet you after your return from the far side of the moon. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, it's my honor to introduce the President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump. Over to you, sir.
Wow. Okay, here is the president.
Well, thank you very much, Jared, and you are doing a fantastic job. And hello, very special hello to Artemis II. Today you've made history and made all America really proud, incredibly proud. We have a lot of things to be proud of lately, but this is there's nothing like what you're doing, circling around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century and breaking the all-time record for the farthest distance from planet Earth. Humans have really never seen anything quite like what you're doing in a manned spacecraft. It's really special. I want to personally salute and congratulate Commander Reed Weissmann, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. And I also want to thank the entire amazing team at NASA, headed by Jared, who's a very special guy, by the way, and you all made this day possible, and you've really inspired the entire world. Really, everybody's watching. They find it incredible. I just watched you go to the back of the moon, and people haven't been there in a long time, we can say, but it's going to be more and more prevalent because we're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and then you're going to ultimately do the whole big trip to Mars, and that's going to be very exciting. So you look at, we had no astronaut has been to the moon since the days of Apollo program. The Apollo program was also very special, but that was 50 years ago. And at long last, America is back, and America is back in many ways stronger than ever before. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. The Artemis crew flew in the most powerful rocket NASA has ever made, ever launched, traveled over 250,000 miles, broke the distance record set by the legendary Apollo 13. And America is a frontier nation, and the four brave astronauts of Artemis II are a modern day, you really are modern day pioneers, all of you. And one of them happens to be a neighbor. You know who that is, right? You have a special person over there, a neighbor, and we like our neighbor. Your mission paves the way for America's return to the lunar surface very soon. We're going all out. We're doing everything we can, and it's headed up by Jared. We'll plant our flag once again, and this time we won't just leave footprints. We'll establish a permanent presence on the moon, and we'll push on to Mars. That'll be very exciting. I'm waiting for that so much. I'd love to be here, but maybe we won't quite make it in terms of timing, but we will be up in the moon, and that's going to happen soon. So America will be second to none in space and everything else that we're doing, and we will continue to lead the whole thing into the stars, this incredible journey into the stars. So I just wanted, it's an honor to speak to you, and I wanted to congratulate each and every one of you.
Amazing. Amazing moment for Artemis II. President Trump's high praise echoing. Listen to astronaut Victor Glover as he shares his thoughts from the quiet, awe-inspiring far side of the moon. Listen.
I'd like to ask, what was your feeling when you had no communication, zero communication? All of a sudden it was cut off by, obviously, your very special location. What was your feeling when you had no communication? A little bit different, perhaps.
Yes, Mr. President, it was I said a little prayer, but then I had to keep rolling. I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. You know, that is actually the time when we were the farthest and the closest to the moon. And so we were really able to make some of our most detailed observations of the far side of the moon up close. And so we were busy up here working really hard. And I must say, it was actually quite nice.
It was actually quite nice. His reflections highlight the courage and commitment of these astronauts. Now, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen expresses gratitude, underscoring the international cooperation that defines the mission.
You see a difference, a big difference between the far side of the moon and the near side of the moon. Was there a difference in feel or difference in look? What did you see?
Well, Mr. President, we certainly did, and our science team really set us up well to understand what they thought we might see. And the gravitational pull of the Earth has had a profound effect on the near side of the moon, changing all those dark mares, those dark patches of the moon you see from Earth. It's very different on the far side. While you see some small patches of those mare in deep craters, it's very much absent on that side, so that's really neat. And while I have the microphone, sir, I just want to thank you on behalf of Canada. The space leadership you spoke of from America truly is extraordinary. I've said this many times before. A nation that leads like that and creates and sets big goals for humanity that brings other countries along with it is truly incredible. And I know that's a very intentional, not a necessary decision, intentional decision to lead by example and to allow other countries like Canada to share our gifts and help you achieve these mutually beneficial goals, like establishing a presence on the moon and eventually going to Mars. And Canadians are so proud to be a part of this program.
Well, I have to say I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your prime minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
Very proud of you. So this is what real American leadership produces. President Trump didn't just make a phone call. He demonstrated to the entire world that the United States of America is back as the undisputed leader in space exploration. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman laid out the vision. Multiple spaceships, multiple space stations, a permanent moon base with astronauts talking to colleagues orbiting above them who are talking to the International Space Station. This is no longer science fiction. This is Trump's NASA making it reality. Even the Canadian astronaut, Jeremy Hansen, couldn't help but praise American leadership, calling it extraordinary, and saying nations that set big goals and bring other countries along are truly incredible. That's America First working, folks, leading the free world by example. Now, what we just witnessed it's more than a space mission. It's proof that when you put America first and give innovators the freedom to succeed, there's nothing we can't accomplish. President Trump promised to restore American greatness, and watching him speak to astronauts circling the moon, breaking records that stood for over 50 years, that's a promise kept. So I want to hear from you in the comments. Are you proud to see America leading in space again? Yes or no? Let me know. And since you made it to the end of the video, congratulations. Not many people do. And here's a special gift. This is how we get you the notifications that you ask for. When YouTube fails you, I will not. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. There are hundreds and hundreds of people just like you getting those notifications directly from me. And also, hit the subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell so you never miss the stories the mainstream media tries to bury. And if you want to show your patriot pride, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video and share this with everyone you know. This is the kind of news that reminds us why we fight. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.